series with this after Sri Lanka around. Where you go?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, look, I thought tonight they actually bowled very well. They changed it up early up. They tried to swing the ball. They bowled with pace. They bowled a lot of slower balls into the hips. And, in the first six, as usual, I hit a lot of fielders, which is frustrating. But I think all in all, if they got a larger total, it would have been quite a challenging chase. I think the outfield was quite difficult. You saw the ball didn't really roll on. Obviously, the staff here have done an amazing job to get the ground up and running after the grand final. And I know all the venues around the country are in the same boat. So, I think, as I said, they bowled better tonight. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough runs on the board.
Do you feel confident in your game at the moment now after the series you've had and also getting a Shield century away early?
Oh, I've always been confident. As I said, I was out of runs. For me, it's about going out there and trying to apply myself 100% like I do every time. I've been, hitting the ball, as well as ever. Come on, Mel, you know better than that. Hitting the ball as well as ever in the nets. And as you know, you can't get them in the net, you've got to get them out in the middle. And just fortunate enough at the moment, when you get a bit of luck, as you saw it there, ball hit the stumps and a drop catch. So, you're on the better end of it at the moment.
Have you changed anything? Have you still got Lewis Capaldi in the year, or has anything changed over the past 4, 5, 6 weeks?
No, everything's pretty similar. Everything's the same. I haven't changed any routines. I've just, I've still had the same maintaining that rage, to go out there and just back myself and play the best of my ability. And I'm a confident person. I don't go out there thinking I'm going to get out or not, or just play the same way. But it helps when you've got momentum. It helps when guys at the other end, bat the same way as you, and you can get a little bit of pressure taken off you. I think with training and everything, it's the same. Quite challenging with the schedule.
Have you got the earpods in? Have you got Lewis still playing?
Yeah, I do. Just with the 2020 practice stuff, it's there's a lot of running between wickets. So for us, the odd one might fall out here and there. So I don't really put it on while I'm doing the 2020 stuff. And
have you spoken to Maxi in the past 24, 48 hours? And if so, how is he?
No, I texted him yesterday. Obviously, when we landed, we went our separate ways. Look, he's in good spirits. It's unfortunate at the beginning of the season he's had to do that. He felt it was the best thing for him. We're 100% behind him. It's really good that he's spoken out. You showed a lot of courage to stand up in front of the group. And we, as I said, we support him 100%. And he was confident in his decision, and he's done the right thing.
Could you sense anything before he put his hand up that he was slightly amiss?
Look, I think, when you pinpoint something to, I know I'm only speaking in my opinion to a male, we find it really hard to express sometimes and speak our emotions. We do like to bottle it up a lot. I know I'm in that same boat, but, you've got people that you can talk to. We've got psychologists we can talk to, and he's seeking that advice now. And, I've had talks from him in the past and he's always seemed fine, but, it's just about being brave and being able to make that decision to speak out and speak up and make sure that you get the right advice.
Just back on the game out here, how did the surface play?
Yeah, look, the surface was a bit different. Unusual for an MCG. We could usually like a nice shine on it. It was a bit grassy, but hard grass, so the ball sort of caught the surface a little bit on the seam. I got a nice seed early on. We didn't expect it to move off the wicket like that. But look, all in all, I think the wicket skidded on nicely. Those back of length balls were quite hard to get under. All in all, I thought it was a good surface, just challenging with the outfield to try and hit gaps and boundaries.
Was it a good opportunity then on this ground? It's very unique, and a couple of the grounds are quite similar shaped here in Australia compared to around the world, for you guys to work out how to score post-power play. You scored 42 runs, I think, at the 4 overs after the power play and really started to get going and used your running and your placement to chase that total down with ease. It was good to get that opportunity to put that into practice ahead of next year's World Cup.
Yeah, it is. And for us, it's about minimising the dot balls. So we're trying to get off strike every ball once the 6 is done. It's imperative that you're looking at 6 and over. And when you pinch those 2s, or if you can sneak the boundary, the run rate goes up to 9 for the over. So For us, it's about running hard. With this surface, it's actually quite difficult when you bunted it in there, it just stopped. And then when you did hit one out the middle, it went straight to the fielder quite hard. So it was difficult to gauge that. But I think that's our game plan. And I've said it in previous press conferences. I think the team that's going to win it next year, I think the ones that run the most twos throughout the whole comp.
And you've got Pakistan coming up. You mentioned at the presentation extra pace. Kamara's extra pace was something different for you tonight. How do you adjust in 24, 48 hours?
Yeah, I think with this surface, it was quite skiddy. For us, when you bowl that back of length in Australia, you don't really have to go too hard at it. It's a nice true bounce. You just got to back your skill and your areas. And obviously, we're playing at the SCG, so hopefully when we go there, we don't know what the wicket's going to be like. But all in all, it's going to be a good battle against them. Obviously, they're a world-class unit, been playing some great cricket. They've gone with some experience and some youth, and we've got to take this momentum into that and really start well.
Do you feel like you've set yourself up for a big summer?
Look, I like to think so. You always like to start the summer well. For me, it's about keeping it simple and making sure I'm staying fresh and keeping mentally fresh. That's the most important thing. Got a lot of cricket. I had a good break that year off, and then coming back, you sort of forget how intense and how much cricket we actually play. So it's about monitoring yourself and making sure you're speaking up with the coaches and staff about how you're feeling. They're the honest conversations you've got to have as a player, and we've got to make sure that we're on top of our game coming into, obviously, the Test series.
Has the confidence within the side for the team to pick up? Looks like it's quite settled anyway.
Yeah, the team's going very well. We've gelled well for a long time. Same group of men that have been probably around the last sort of 3 years, minus a couple of other dynamic players that were at the top of the order. It's great to see the selectors are having that confidence in the players to keep picking the same people. Obviously, I think we've got to give some credit to the way that our bowlers bowled this series. The two spinners in particular were outstanding. Obviously, Stark with the new ball, Camo and Richo, excellent job. But the two spinners for me have been the standout. Their lengths have been great. They haven't been hit for many boundaries, and they're getting in and out of their over very well. So that's very pleasing from us on a bowling front.
Just last one for Cassius. I'm sure it's more useful for the coaches, but so much talk about data in T20 now. Is there anything which you turn to when you're preparing for a game? Is there any facts or numbers which you try and digest to help you?
I don't like stats. Look, for me, it's great having those numbers in your face when you see it up on the screen and you go, interesting. A lot of that marries up, and you understand why certain people get picked, some people don't get picked. Use it into your advantage. Like as a captain specifically, it's very good knowledge in the first six, who to bowl, who matches up well. And I'm just a skeptic. At the end of the day, if you're going to face the one thing that we're going to throw at a person because it's their weakness, you're going to get used to that as well. So you've got to be in the back of your mind. We've got to change it up and not just be too predictable. And I do like that match-up scenario. I think that now is going into all three forms. I don't think it's just 2020 cricket. I do think it's marrying up into Test cricket now specifically. I think you look at the way the Indians attack, basically. Their fast bowling attack in Test cricket, they pick a great team to bowl. They've got two great bowlers against left-handers, or three great bowlers against left-handers. Then you've got Umesh Yadav on the other side of Mohammad Shami as well, who are capable of just bringing that ball back to the right-handers and shaping it away. So they're mixing and matching, having a look at their Test series in India as well. And I think it's leaning that way in Test cricket throughout. And you saw it with us in England as well. It's key matchups. So I think all the data that's getting collected is being spread across three formats, which is great.